Okay, good evening, or I guess good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Council Meeting number 21 for September 5, 2023. And I will call the meeting to order and recognize that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the LHTAKO DENE Nation. I would like to now get a motion to approve the agenda, and I will say that we have regrets from Councillor Rudenberg and Councillor Elliott tonight. Nice to see that there are no pending changes or late additions to the agenda, so if I could get a motion to adopt the agenda. Councillor Goulet, Councillor Vic, all in favor? Carried. Adoption of the regular minutes of August 15, 2023. Mover, Councillor McKelvey, seconded Councillor Goulet. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. We have no presentations, no delegations, no items arising from previous special closed meetings, no unfinished business, no committee reports, council reports and discussion items. I'm going to now go to the last two meetings of the Cariboo Regional Board, and you have it circulated with your agenda package. From July 13 and 14, the solid waste manager presented an updated solid waste management plan to the board, and in early fall, the completed plan will be distributed to Cariboo municipalities for review and feedback, and the aim is to secure provincial approval by December of this year, 2023. Skip over the page. There's really nothing more. There's other things that are dealing with, electoral areas outside of the city. As far as the August 18 meeting, CRD Board on the Road this week, in fact, starting tomorrow evening, it's in Interlakes down on Highway 24. And I must say that I really got to question the value of the board on the road, because the last board on the road that we had was at McLeese Lake. And I don't think there was anybody that showed up for A, the committee of the whole, and B, actually, B was the community dinner. I think maybe they had one or two. But the actual board meeting on the following day, no one showed up. So I really have to sort of question the value of the board on the road, particularly for the staff, because it's a lot of work to sort of take the meeting out of the environment of the regional district office in Williams Lake and take it on the road. So I'm sure that there will be discussion on that. Here's one that affects us, and that's the updated recreation fees and charges for North Cariboo, and that comes out of North Cariboo Joint Advisory, and that was approved. And they're also looking at a regional approach to economic development, and they're having some back and forth on how that's going to roll out. And as I said, there are upcoming meetings later this week, and we've got pretty well all of the joint committees having meetings later in September, right ahead of the Union of BC Municipalities. I don't think I need a motion to accept my report, do I? Okay, now we're going to go to Fire Training Center equipment, and we have a report here from Fire Chief and Director of Emergency Services. So Ron, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Yeah, so basically we're requesting permission to purchase a forcible entry training simulator for the North Cariboo Training Center out at the airport. This is a vital piece of equipment, we feel, for the training of our firefighters for interior attack. So this piece of equipment, I've attached a little bit of a brief detailed, basically some details about the piece of equipment we'd like to purchase. And so right now it's sitting at about $12,000 plus taxes, so I'm just asking for up to $14,000.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Council, the information is in front of you. Councillor Vic, Councillor Runge is moving the recommendation. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. To the next one is from the Director of Development Services, proposed Rogers Communication Tower at 2950 Cariboo Highway 97. Director, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this report is to provide endorsement for the consultation process conducted for the installation of a new Rogers telecommunications tower. The proponents of the communication tower are regulated by ISED on behalf of the Government of Canada as part of their approval process. They're required to consult with the local government and devise a consultation process, of which they've done. The proposed site is located in the northwest corner of 2950 Highway 97 North, with no residential buildings within the immediate vicinity. That property is a multi-unit light industrial commercial property. The process went without flaw. They did the 30-meter notification. There was only one concern that was brought up to city staff regarding a property that was abutting. They were put in touch with the telecommunications company, and they had that issue resolved, and they had no further objections. The recommendation is that council receives for information the staff report on the land use considerations regarding the request for endorsement of a new telecommunications tower to be placed northwest of Highway 97 North, and that council provides the following resolution on the matter. And it's quite a long resolution, but we'll read it through. And whereas proponents of the telecommunications tower are regulated by ISED on behalf of the Government of Canada as part of their approval, ISED requires proponents to consult with land use authorities as provided for in CPC-2-0-003. And whereas Rogers has completed the requirements set out in CPC-2-0-003, and planning staff have no objections to the proposed telecommunications tower. And whereas Rogers has consulted with the City of Quesnel, and the City of Quesnel has no objection to the proposed telecommunications tower. And whereas Rogers has consulted with the public by notifying all property owners and occupants within 3 times the tower height, and has provided 30 days for written public comment. And whereas there is no significant land use issues identified by the consultation, now therefore it be resolved that 1, the clerk be instructed to advise Rogers that Rogers has satisfactorily completed its consultation with the City of Quesnel. The City of Quesnel is satisfied that Rogers' public consultation process and does not require any further consultation with the public, and the City of Quesnel concurs with Rogers' proposals to construct a wireless telecommunications facility, provided it is constructed substantially in accordance with the plan submitted to it and described as address 2950 Cariboo Highway 97 North, Quesnel, BC, legal PID 008-233-748, with coordinates north 53 degrees, 0.008122 degrees west, and negative 122 or 0.503602 degrees, Rogers site W6622, Quesnel River Pulp Macro. That was probably the longest one I've ever read.
Yes, I think that is one of the longest recommendations that we've ever encountered. So who would like to have the pleasure? Councillor Vick and Councillor McKelvey, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried magnanimously. Okay, thank you. Now we're going to go again to the Director of Development Services, and this is a fence height variance and form and character review for 324 Hoy Street.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'm just going to put this over to the City Planner to present.
Thank you. So the purpose of this report is to review the overall site design for 2 proposed roof extensions on the principal building and to vary the fence height in the front yard. So I'll just summarize the report. The applicant is proposing 2 roof extensions to cover the outside stairs and to create a sheltered play area throughout the year. The applicant is proposing to extend the play area in the front yard by 2.4 meters, and a variance is needed to allow a 1.8 meter high fence. The variance is minor in nature, and the extension of the fence is necessary for the number of children in care. For the recommendation is that council approve DP 2023-15 55 for the additions of the 2 roof extensions along the front of the principal building on lot 30 to 34, Block 10, District Lot 386, Cariboo District Plan 722. This is at 324 Hoy Street, as proposed as the attached plans, and that council vary section 4.11.1A of the City of Quesnel zoning bylaw 1880, 2019 to allow a 1.8 meter high fence in the required front yard.
Okay, thank you for that. Do we have somebody to make the motion? Councillor Goulet, Councillor Vic, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. See, that was easy. Thank you for that. Next, we have a council report from the Deputy Corporate Administrator on council meeting order of proceedings, and there's a proposed change there.
The purpose of the report is to request approval from council to make a small change to the council meeting agenda template. Mayor Paull met with City Manager Johnson to advise that he would like to change the council agenda order of proceedings, item P, information and question period number 3, from announcements and future events to announcements events, allowing council to provide updates on past and future events. I was advised that technically we need to update our council procedure bylaw. However, as this is a minor housekeeping change to the title only, it does not significantly affect the intent of the item, we can track the housekeeping change until the next council procedure bylaw amendment. The recommendation that council direct staff to update the future council meeting agendas, item P, information and question period number 3, from announcements future events to announcements events, and that this change be reflected as a housekeeping change during the next council procedure bylaw amendment.
Okay, thank you for that, and I was the one that brought this forward so that we would have the freedom to talk about future or past events as well as upcoming events. So if I could get a motion to adopt that recommendation. Councillor McKelvey, Councillor Vic, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you for that. The next item is from the city planner through the Director of Development Services, amend smoking regulation bylaw number 1617 of 2015.
Thank you. So the purpose is to consider adding policy to restrict the use of smoking in commercial spaces to further promote and protect the health of the community. So I just wanted to jump into the existing businesses. So we do acknowledge that the Cariboo Hotel and the Occidental have smoking sections, and that the amendments will only apply to new or changing businesses. The smoking area is regulated by Northern Health, and non-conforming uses may continue if the province's regulations are met. The smoking amendment bylaw was brought to PABCOM on March 30th and June 22nd. After the first review of the bylaw, the committee had asked staff to research smoking restrictions from other communities, noting that the committee would agree moving forward to promote and protect the health of the public was priority. The second review included discussing restrictions with the exceptions for religious purposes. The committee agreed to update the current bylaw and to be aligned with Burnaby's smoking bylaw. So just summarizing, the current smoking bylaw restricts smoking in some outdoor areas. Smoking herbs and other plants are permitted in commercial spaces such as bars, restaurants, coffee shops, and home-based businesses. The BC government does not control these products, and it is up to local governments to restrict or control where the products are being consumed. The proposed amendments are looking to restrict all types of smoking in customer service areas and business premises to which employees and/or the public are invited. The recommendation is that council approve first reading of the City of Quesnel smoking bylaw amendment bylaw number 1947 of 2023, and that council directs staff to conduct consultation with businesses that have smoking areas.
Okay, thank you for that. Pretty straightforward. Do we have a motion? Councillor Councillor Runge, did you want to speak?
Yeah, I guess I kind of do, because I believe we had a slightly different discussion at PABCOM, and I don't know what the proper procedure is. I'd rather this come back to PABCOM first for a little more discussion before it comes to council.
So do I take that as a motion of referral back to PABCOM?
That would be wonderful.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Tony Goulet, second. Anyone have any objection to that? Otherwise, we're all voting in favor. Vote in favor? Perfect. Okay, we're done. All right, now, over the page, over 2 pages. We're going to just go to the council information package, and actually I had brought this, or asked that this matter be brought forward, and I'm sure that I'm not the only one that is noticing that we're certainly having a lot of bear conflict in our city, and it's actually not unique to Quesnel. It's basically all over the place. We've got quite a problem over at our place on Moffat Avenue with bears coming into the yard. In fact, I even had one come into the shop to visit me the other day while I was working. So I've asked staff to bring back the information and I guess the public awareness campaign that we have conducted on Bear Aware and Bear Smart. I have received, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, requests for going back to weekly garbage pickup, but I don't think, and I'm sure the staff would agree, that that is the solution. I think that the real solution is, well, to bear with me and wait this thing out. Because, as I say, I think it's important that we, remind the public to, make sure that their fruit trees are picked clean and their berry bushes are picked clean, and that their garbage is either securely closed or put in an area where the bears can't get at it. The same thing applies to compost, et cetera, et cetera. So it's basically common sense, but it's just a matter of putting that message out there and reminding the public that we all need to work together to be bear smart and bear aware. So if I could, do we need a motion to do that? No? Okay, so it's basically, go ahead, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think you encapsulated the issue very well. It is a seasonal problem. It is an unusually bad year. Attached is our own press release that was put out in August 22nd, and it's all about managing the attractants, as you said, Mr. Mayor. There was a newspaper article in The Observer recently. This has been getting a lot of attention. So in The Observer, it said that there was 196 reports of bears in Quesnel. 7 have been put down as per the CO's office, which there was also recently a story about Prince George, and where there's significantly more of an issue in Prince George. It is a bigger area, though, so I guess you'd expect that. Just to remind council, the city does participate in the Bear Aware program. It's a program that we contribute $2,000 a year, and there's a Bear Aware coordinator who works between the city and some of the regional district areas that also put in some funding on that program. I would suggest that possibly when we bring that to council this year, we should take a look at what that person does and see if council wants to change that order or buy a higher level of service from that coordinator, because it is a bit of a menu where if you want higher service, you can pay for more time for the Bear Aware coordinator. So it's something we could look at during budget time. And as you said, Mr. Mayor, we are getting a lot of requests for, well, what I say a lot, maybe I've seen a half dozen requests for a return to weekly garbage pickup. But just a reminder, other communities that have weekly garbage pickup also have a very significant bear problem. And it's not a simple matter with garbage pickup, which involves heavy machinery and unionized workforce just to turn service levels up and then turn them back down again. That really doesn't work well at all. So lots of moving pieces with this. I think we need to be aware that the problem is getting worse. And finally, one of the things that we're actually looking at is we were looking at various locking mechanisms for the cans. And Matt has been working with his counterpart, Director Thomas from Public Works has been working with his counterpart in Prince George because they're experimenting with various locking mechanisms for these cans. And some of the locking mechanisms seems to work good at various times of the year, but then come winter, they get jammed up, and it really slows down a process if you have an automated system where the driver of the truck has to get out and try to play with the cans to make them work better. So we are looking at that. We're hoping Prince George comes up with a great solution there. And if they do, we'll be looking to copycat on that, but the jury is still out on that one. Other than that, I think we just need to keep working on the awareness side of it and making sure that the public is aware to deal with the attractants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, City Manager. Go ahead, Councillor Runge, and then Councillor Vic.
Yeah, I'm just curious if there might be another reason for the multiple bears in all areas, because, for some people, there's no fruit on the trees. There might be currants in the bushes, and the bears just seem a lot closer this year. So there may just be some seasonal fire / whatever related thing that's causing bears to be a lot closer to humans in most places, I think, in northern BC. Councillor Vic.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, my only addition, I would agree wholeheartedly that next year when we communicate with the Bear Aware Coordinator, I believe they did present to us recently, and they did present a locking mechanism, but again, there were complications for how our staff can efficiently unhook those, and there's also the question of cost. And I'm hoping that if our colleagues in Prince George can find a system that's practical, the city may not need to purchase one for every household. We may have we could consider an optional program where neighborhoods that are suffering from bears getting into their garbage, it could be an optional program where people can purchase their own lock to protect their garbage can. So it wouldn't necessarily have to be a huge expense to our city.
Thank you. Anyone else? I just want to say that my personal observation is that I think that all of the bears in Jasper and Banff have moved to Quesnel, because a friend of mine and myself just drove from Quesnel to Medicine Hat, and we went south on the parkway through Jasper and Banff and then back the same way and saw one bear. And I came home to find 3 bears in my yard, so I think they're all Alberta bears. So we don't need a motion on that one. We're going to go ahead with that. So I thank you for that. And so now we have to go to bylaws. And we have bylaw number 1947 for first reading. So if I could get a motion for that.
Mayor, we deferred that to PABCOM.
Oh, you're right. I was just seeing if you were paying attention, and you were. Okay, so we have no new business, no changes to upcoming meeting schedules, no changes to committee appointments, announcements on future events. Go ahead, Councillor Tony Goulet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I just want to point out that this Saturday, September 9th, is International FASD Day. There is a walk that is taking place. Usually they ring the bell from the United Church and they walk over to the Friendship Center for a breakfast. I'm not sure of the time. I think we're going to get underway at about 9 and then have a breakfast at the Friendship Center. It is open. We just walk to make awareness of, what FASD is, celebrated in 1999. So it's been there for, these celebrations have been taking place for quite some time. So they've declared an international day, and people are more than welcome. And I just want to let you know to partake. It's just a short walk over to the center and enjoy some breakfast. There'll be some entertainment as well, drummers, dancers. So you're all invited. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I've got 3 items that I need to bring forward. One is, and I know this is short notice, but I didn't know that Laura was away, so I'm sort of have to bring these to council's attention. I was going to do it through email. But tomorrow, Wednesday, September 6th at 2:30 p.m., Minister Bowen Ma, and that's the Minister of Emergency, et cetera, and the Minister of Municipal Affairs are doing a webinar, I guess, on the forest fire situation, and they have asked myself to sit in on that on Zoom, but I'll be on my way to the Regional District Board meeting. So is there anyone that would be willing to come, or you don't need need to come here, just to get on Zoom, and I would send you the link, 2:30, I think it's for an hour, 2:30 till 3:30 tomorrow afternoon on Zoom. Does staff take, okay, so we've got that one tagged. The next one is UNBC Board of Directors are coming to Quesnel. The entire board, the chairman and the board, are coming to Quesnel for a dinner and reception at the Quesnel campus Friday, September 15, and that's again right on top of Union of BC Municipalities, 5 p.m. Is there anyone that could attend on behalf of council that Board of Directors dinner and reception? Again, Friday, September 15 at 5 p.m. So make a note of it, and if you can, get back to me or get back to staff, and we'll make it work. And finally, the 2024 LHTAKO Quesnel BC Winter Games, there is a community awareness event happening this coming Friday, September 8th, from 11 to 2 at Spirit Square. Does anyone have intention of attending that? Okay, well, please make an effort, because again, I'll be at Regional District and will be unable to attend. So if anyone can drop down to Spirit Square anytime, I think it's a sort of a drop-in event, but certainly if you have the opportunity, go down there and introduce yourself, and we'll see what happens. I don't have anything else. So I will, and we don't have any further announcements. So now I will call for gallery questions. Mr. Editor, nothing?
I'll pick you up one by one.
Okay, thanks. So now I will call for a motion to adjourn. Councillor Vic, Councillor Runge. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone.